Welcome back. Secretary of State Marco Rubio setting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz straight. The State Department has revoked the legal status of a man from Laos convicted of sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in Minnesota. 20 years ago, after his arrest, Tulu Vang told investigators it was a cultural thing. The victim was his now wife's sister. The man was recently pardoned by Governor Walz, but the Trump administration said that didn't end the case.
Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States.
Joining me now, border czar Tom Homan. Tom, it's good to have you here on the program. I think what I would love to ask you is, what would you say now to Governor Tim Walz?
Can't say it on air, but look, who pardons a child sex offender, a child rapist? I mean, that's how much he supports illegal aliens over U.S. citizens, U.S. citizen children. I'm glad Marco Rubio did this, but you know, this happens more times you can guess. Will, I mean, you know, unless you understand immigration law, I see a lot of times a district attorney or in a sanctuary city, they'll downgrade a crime so they can't be removable. For instance, if you're a resident alien and you get an aggravated felony, you can be deported without even seeing an immigration judge as long as you get a felony conviction with 365-day sentence. And I've seen cases 355. Now, why do you think they did that? They did that so we couldn't act to remove this person from the United States. So this happens a lot, but President Trump, the Department of Justice, and thank God Marco Rubio's all of this, we're going to fight them every time they come with this.
So what you're telling me, Tom, is they do things intentionally to keep not just illegal immigrants, but criminally convicted illegal immigrants in America. But I can't say I've seen anything as far as Governor Walz has gone in pardoning a child sex offender. And it just simply defies explanation.
It does, because they wouldn't do the same thing for U.S. citizens. I mean, you saw the Attorney General in Virginia here, where I live. He's been called before Congress for treating illegal aliens better on criminal convictions and criminal cases than American citizens. And the reason he's doing that is to make it hard to deport these people. Again, I think the American people need to pay attention to this. You know, elections matter, and we need to put the right people in place to enforce law. I'm not endorsing any candidate. I'm saying let's pick the candidates that are going to enforce the law. President Trump's all about putting America first, enforcing law, and that's what we need to continue to do.
All right, Tom, I want to ask you about this story. It's making the rounds. It is a story of an illegal immigrant who was killed in Houston, shot by an ICE officer. Now, according to DHS, the illegal immigrant tried to ram the ICE officer with his car. Now, this, of course, as you know, is making the rounds. There are those talking about it on other cable channels and in other mainstream media sources. And what they will say is, after Alex Preddy or Renee Good, they don't accept initial explanations of what has happened. So I want to ask you what happened and what evidence does DHS and ICE have to back up what happened?
Well, look, as usual, I'm not going to discuss an ongoing investigation. We're going to let the investigation play out, because if I give an opinion, then that may sway, you know, certain people on the decisions of the investigation. We need to let the investigation play out. Let the facts come together, because you know, there's going to be some body cam footage, maybe. There's going to be cell phone video. There could be, you know, cell phone towers in the area, or cameras that the city owns that may, you know, capture some images. So we need to let the investigation play out. But for the media, don't trust ICE. And why is that? Because the vast majority of media, you know, they constantly tell lies about what ICE is doing, and they base that on members of Congress who want to compare ICE to the Nazis, the secret police, and so forth. The hateful rhetoric is driving public opinion away from ICE. But I think in the last few months, we're winning the public back because we're putting the truth out there. We're releasing videos. We're talking about these investigations. So when this investigation comes out, we'll see where it lies. But, you know, we got to let it play out, Will.
You're 100% right. I know you're right. That is the right answer. It's the right thing to do, Tom. We just are in this moment where the period of time between which we see body cam footage or flock camera or city camera footage is filled with lies that command the public narrative. You know, that's where hands up, don't shoot came in. That's where so many different narratives that people still believe today come in. And we can implore them, wait for the evidence, wait for the facts. Unfortunately, so many others fill that time period with lies. Lies that become narratives that turn into political movements. And I know that your job today is to be right. And I know and I appreciate you being right. I also know that this is the time when those that are wrong fill it with lies.
And I want to just add to that. And when people act well outside of policy or act in violation of law, they'll be held accountable. When I went to Minnesota to fix that mess, when President Trump sent me there, the first thing I did is bring more internal affairs officers in there and run down all the allegations. And unfortunately, a couple of agents are in trouble now. But we will do the right thing based on the findings of the investigation. We'll hold our people accountable. You got my word on that.
I hear you. I hear you. You're not telling us which way this case will go. You're telling us there needs to be an investigation. And that's exactly, again, the right approach. Tom Homan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.